You guys know who you are when you ask questions like, well, do we wait for the candle to close for the day? Is that when we know? When the How do we know what a rejection is? Is it exactly when it bounces off and goes the other way? Like when this level reaches this, is that when we buy? Just remember, there are no there's no absolutes. There's no specific rule or level that is like the number. You have to be flexible. You have to take it all in. It's very similar to the way doctors kind of diagnose. Well, if your temperature goes to 103.6, that's it. You've got this. It's like, well, if you're over 103, probably have infection, but we're going to have to check your blood levels for this, this, and this. If that level is this, well, that could mean this. So we're going to have to check your liver. We have to check your kidney. Or we have to check, you know what I mean? There's no such thing as like one level, one number. That's why when I showed you the put call ratio, when we were looking at these numbers, wherever the heck they were, I I altered the moving average. I altered these levels because now kind of these are new levels. So kind of split the difference. I kind of wanted to see where the moving averages would hit. And when I saw the 10 period moving average kind of just doing this, I'm like, well, that's not helpful. Let me look at the 5. I'm like, woo, yeah, that's the one I want. So you got to be able to make adjustments. Don't just look at one one chart, one moving average and go, well, what's the answer, Michael? When it hits this number or this level, that's when we buy. Do you know what I mean? Try to look at it a little bit more as a list of criteria that when you line it all up, it kind of gives you some confluence. And then you can look at specific levels on a chart when they breach. And that should give you the indication, you know what? Now I'm ready to take a trade because it's confirmed. Like NVIDIA, as an example. Did everybody see the alert on NVIDIA? Did I do NVIDIA? I sent it out in this. I did, right? I did around noontime. I did. Okay. I was shorting NVIDIA, but NVIDIA, for me, um, took out this level. Not only that, second day above the 20 period simple. Not only that, that was sort of my line in the sand. And once I broke above that, that was my confirmation. I had other things I was looking at in the markets. I wanted to see, did the VIX break 30? Yes. Did it get down to 25? Yes. Did it break it? Yes. Is the dollar moving higher? Yes. Bitcoin moving higher? Yes. Right? JP Morgan, well, not so much, a little bit. Was the Russell making higher highs and higher lows? Yes. So JP Morgan, not so much. Was Apple moving, higher in the day? Yes. So when I had confluence of some of these things, and obviously the put call ratio coming down, we're definitely moving towards kind of a bullish rebound. So do you understand now, if you just watched the last hour, do you understand now why news is nonsense? Because one piece of news can do this: spike, 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 spike something. It can cause a candle that looks like this. But look what happened, right? One piece of economic news could give you, a gap down. But do you see how in the end it really doesn't matter if you're swing trading options? You want a confluence of data. What data? I just told you, right? Put call, VIX. You don't have to look at every single thing, but now you know what some of them are: Bitcoin, oil, JP Morgan, NVIDIA. Why NVIDIA? Because NVIDIA was the source of the AI bubble. And so that piercing of the bubble, you'll see NVIDIA go down. If it gets more action again where they're buying the dip, well, then that's pretty significant. Apple has always been the indicator for the markets, at least for a long time. So if you kind of, the dollar, I gave you all my reasons behind the dollar. I gave you all my reasons behind why we should look at, some of these other things. This is what you want. You kind of want this confluence. And then once you have that, well, if I've got an overwhelming confluence to go bull, now I can look at the chart. And if I see a breach, I'm long. Now, if it continues to go higher and I lean into the trade, once I add to the trade, what am I going to do next? Once I've added to the trade and I'm heavy in NVIDIA and happy to be long, I must hedge the trade. How stupid of me to go, yeah, let's just go NVIDIA and then get a gap down and lose 70% of it and be ugh. If I have a small hedge in place, like SOX maybe, that might be the way to go, SOXL or SOX. It's a super cheap way to hedge the semiconductors. Maybe I buy the SMH put, for next week or something, although that doesn't really move much. I could do, what's cheaper is AMD. I could buy AMD puts for next week. And so if this tanks, this is a cheap way to make a little bit of money. But I'm not going to do that until I add. Why? Because now all I have is a pilot position. And if I have a little small pilot position on within my allocation, what the hell do I care what happens? I could lose 70, 80% or risk the entire debit and it won't affect my account much because of the allocation. Now, some might say, yeah, but I have a small account. Well, then you allocate smaller so that you don't care. Get out at a 70% loss. It didn't affect your account that much. 2%, 3%, 4%. Not going to lose sleep over losing 4% on a $300 account. You just realized you can't do a vertical. You just realized this now. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Pay attention. Follow the steps. It's all in your checklist. Very specific. Tells you exactly what's what kind of account to set up. It doesn't matter if you've been sim trading. What I'm referring to is that if you followed the checklist and read and watched things in order as you go, you would have known in the very beginning what kind of account you needed to set up, what kind of funds you needed, what kind of account specifically to get everything working. But yes, you need to maintain over 2,000 in order to trade spreads.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.